Our top three of that last game, QNDX, Phantom, Turtle, Cheeps, Trulex, Chicho. The best placing team out of that was 23rd place. So way to start the day off, right? As Lunex Monier just trying to get a little bit of revenge from that last game. Cade goes down in an instant, but it is going to be a whole lot of trading that goes down. Cade gets both of them.
I don't even know what happened. All I know is I blinked. Cade has 2 eliminations, but he's also on the ground. Good news is Marine is still up. So Marine and Cade are going to be looking like they're going to start off this match with a bit more confidence.
After you win that 50-50 just like that, you gotta start to build confidence. It's not every day you're able to get both of them without minimal help. As you kind of see everybody towards the south side of the map still needing some time to fly in, which gives Kaido, Hijo, QNDX, Phantom a lot of time to really think what goes right, what goes wrong, which side do you land at, because that's something that we saw already yesterday, is sometimes Phantom and QNDX are going to get brave. They will start to land on that slower side where a lot of the loot is at.
I can't even imagine how many times they've practiced this drop. In the previous match, QNDX Phantom had the better side where they did get that slurp truck, but this time around, I'm not sure. Kaido and QNDX look quite even.
Are they going for the double floor loot? Is everybody kind of going for that floor spawn? Kaido looks like he's a little too short. Phantom as well. QNDX got the first weapon. Kaido's just getting one as well. Harbinger versus AR. I'm not sure who really has the advantage, but Kaido's just doing what he can to quickly loot up. He has the cola, he has the bubble shields, and now for some reason there's a third team here. Who invited them?
Who invited them to the party, Jacob? They came uninvited, as now there's 3 duos in this tiny little dock, and they're all battling it out.
They got the slurp truck on the other side, and already you see, I think it's QNDX and Phantom trying to disengage on out, but they run into another team, a 4th team there. I don't know what happened to the south side of this map, but it's not something I think anybody wants to be a part of, and that's why you see so many players just disengaging outward.
Look, especially after coming from a victory royale, if you're QNDX Phantom, you see another duo here, you start walking out, you see another duo coming for the 4th party, you're like, okay, we don't even want to take an engagement anymore. It's fine if we play shambles, let's just get out of this early game.
Uh-oh.
It's Mally Mustache. You have to be kidding me.
That's one thing for sure, especially if they got that red line rig loot as well. But I think I saw another off-spawn fight not favor Seti and Cammy Kieran easy doing it yet again. Malabuka and Mustache, you see they instantly get that red line rig loot and try to beeline it for Surge. No builds, no materials in their inventory. Not even a shotgun on Mustache, which means they're prioritizing early game Storm Surge here. Once they don't get the look that they want, then they're going to backtrack and try to farm up those materials.
The crucial part of that was Phantom and QNDX spotting out Mustache Malabuka just as they took their 3-2-1, so they were able to block a lot of the potential damage that was going to be coming at them. So we'll take a look at kind of what happened to Cammy and Seti. You said it yourself. It might have not quite went their way this time around, as Akira and Easy once again taking out our FNCS Invitational champs.
Yeah, I can't necessarily blame this. Once you go through day 1, you realize you're winning more of those off-spawn battles. You get more and more confident to actually take the fight to Seti and Cammy. Even in game 1, you saw Seti and Cammy kind of rotate away. As long as they stay there, I feel like Akira and Easy are feeling confident more and more as each game passes to actually push over in that direction, start a fight, and even take the chances to finish it.
Repeat from yesterday, not a single duo contesting their forecast tower. They got uncontested Reckless, uncontested Forecast. It's a good place to be in, to be fair, especially if you get good odds with the Forecast actually spawning.
Yeah, I think as well they've been fighting. They just demand a lot of respect towards Reckless in that POI. Focus and Blue Sea, nothing really to concern you there. Just kind of farming up. Very little metal to be had over there, so probably just trying to get every drop of that. Clips is by himself. Takes down Sky. Scroll just immediately runs into the box. Just trying to waste no time following up on that damage that his teammate did put down. He finds the success and quick enough to where he can get the revive back onto Sky. It's almost like they never went down in the first place.
I don't think they did, Jacob. I don't know what you're talking about. Sky Scroll, perfect cleanup, 2 eliminations. 5 nitros now left over. Medkit minis. All you gotta do is recuperate a bit of mats. Find that metal, as it is the most scarce resource. So if you can get it early on, it's always better, especially if you have kind of that metal route. I see a lot of loot on the ground here in Pleasant Piazza. I see a duo that we don't see in this POI too often. Normally, it's Clown and Axe Force. battling it out. I do see Cloud and Axe Force close by, though.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that so many players are coming over here towards Pleasant Piazza, because even though they won the off-spawn fight, you saw how many teams rotated. They were only really to get points from that off-spawn fight. They placed 34th in that last game, probably struggling to get loot, materials, because so many teams kind of scavenged it before they're even able to leave the POI. Vico Flixie, we saw them at their forecast tower not too long ago, but they know they have time before the forecast tower even spawns. They kind of look around for loot, take a lot of these high elevations on mountaintops, and as soon as it gets near that time of forecast tower about to spawn, they just go ahead and return back.
They had a bit of trouble in the last game in terms of Storm Surge, especially compared to day one. So maybe this time around they said, not going to let that slide in game 2, as they tried taking an engagement. Didn't fully commit to it, but I can assume, or at least hope, that they got a bit of tags, bit of damage. So now that Storm or Forecast Tower is going to appear, like you said, they will be going for that if it does spawn.
I think we had, what, 3 south zones, 2 south zones, maybe a little bit of a southwest on one of them. So far, it might be too early to tell, but it does look like we got a far pull towards the west. Not too worried for Gudenbra and Forzen, because they do have the launch pad. If they hope Flowberry Fizz, they can go from launch pad to launch pad on the south side of the map. And if any cactuses are left over, they can regenerate any lost HP through that.
I mean, yeah, you talked about zones. It was like a dart player hitting the same spot over and over again. I think basically every zone was on the west side of the map, little southwest, except for one. One zone kind of went a little random. He like sneezed as he was throwing the dart that time or something, but we'll take a look at Vidil and Reason. See if they can continue their momentum.
Like I said, when you already have your global championship spot secured, it's a different type of pressure. It's not necessarily the same, but when you're a team like Vidil and Reason, it's sometimes not always about a global championship spot when you already have. Now they just need to prove that point, win this FNCS, go into the global championship with the confidence of being the best team in EU.
Just thinking about it's got me excited, Jacob. Global championship. Ooh, that's gonna be a lot of fun. The best of the best from every region battling it out in an in-person event. Top 10 today. There's gonna be 10 more slots from EU. 10 slots on NA as well if you stick around for that, to be qualified to the global championship. So that's what some of these players are playing for. You got, you know, the prize pool from the grand finals, but also those 10 slots. So you don't have to get first, you don't have to get second. You might not even have to get 10th if a player that's already qualified to global championships gets top 10. So for a lot of the players that are kind of on the mid half of the leaderboard going into today, that might be their main goal.
Yeah, I think it's about tempering those expectations just a little bit. Don't want to lose hope halfway through as Walk's ping. Saw Walks go down early on in game 1. Ping was able to get his reboot, but it's because of these early game skirmishes that they're not afraid to trade off with. Trash and Splash, they do land, I do believe, just north of the Underworld towards the outskirts. A little bit of a split drop. So when the zone is in their favor, you see they don't have far to rotate. I can see teams like this kind of positioning, tag each other, the extended box fights for the little bit of surge that they can. And then on top of that, you see not too far away and currently about to open up is the bunker.
What's interesting is I saw Ping in Pleasant Piazza a bit ago when we had our eyes on that. Now they're back over here, kind of just wandering all over this area of the map to get tags, but then eventually ending at that bunker. Looks like another duo that's found their way to a new POI. It's QNDX and Phantom with an elimination as well. This is a good comeback from the, I guess, surprised early game that they had.
Now you can say it, the Shambles early game, they disengaged, they got pushed off, but it was the smart decision. Like, it's not all about proving I can fight off spawn, I can win off spawn, because you know the games that these guys were able to survive, they were actually able to play out. They got 13th, they got 8th, they got a first place. So as long as these guys are able to play to their strategy, I feel like they have confidence in themselves to not only perform well, but to come back here on day 2 and oh no. Oh no, I feel bad. That happened to me the other day. I got jump scared. I felt so safe in my surge tower. I felt so safe, and then the team landed on me. I jumped, and I was like, am I playing Fortnite?
Yeah, it's the crash pad Flowberry. You can see the amount of elevation you can get with that combo. Cantry cry false. Nice little elimination. Only one though. Let's take a replay. What actually happened here?
exposed just on the other side.
Oh.
That's just one of those things that do kind of catch you off guard a little bit, or maybe that's just me when it looks like they're going for a full revive. They're trying to hold the wall. Then out of nowhere, they just push out. And with the Nitro, they bump you around, land a couple of shots, and in an instant, you realize the tables have turned and you don't even know how.
What's going on here, Jacob? So we got Reason Vidil crouched down below at the bottom half of a Surge Tower.
Who is that up there?
And if I look at the mini-map, I see 2 green arrows. So I think the duo's split up. Yeah, technically it's a solo up there. One wrong decision, Jacob. They might even know that they've kind of made a split Surge Tower, and the likeliness of them dropping down to kind of group up again is quite high. So if they just wait it out, or even their duo groups up, no, this could be huge.
I feel like they could have set up a trap. Maybe they hear him coming. They got one floor. It's edited out. They're trying to do it. Is it going to work, though? Because they have the Nitro. They have Flowberry Fizz. He's dropping down. Vidil, Reason under pressure. I'm not sure if they really wanted to get put in this situation. But again, the way the meta has shifted, having to fight for a lot of the Surge. You see him going up, ready to challenge. Vidil taking the side angle. Genio's just trying to get out alive, and he's scrambling around, forced to separate from his teammate.
Skavi showing up like a guardian angel just in the right moment to tell his duo partner, they're chopping you down, get ready. The shots that he took caused them to connect to the builds once again, which didn't break down the Surge Tower, and it might just have been enough to keep the duo alive.
I was almost thinking they could have set up a trap. If Ski would have seen him a lot sooner, Chino could have went down, tagged him with a DMR, edited the wall. I felt the possibilities were cooking, but just the timing wasn't there. But deal Reason, they realized not to stay too long in this situation, especially since it's short distance away. Rift Island is about to spawn.
And you can see Vidil Reason making use of that, as they're going to be the ones to hopefully claim that flag first. Chicho Trulex have secured a bunker, it seems. So although they are in the zone, they've got a bit of extra loot now, and they can make their way back in, basically unharmed. Not too many materials, though.
Almost makes me wonder how they even ended up in this situation. Was that even their bunker to just kind of get the scraps that are left out of it? But Queasy out of nowhere, Wild Queasy appears deep in his zone. I don't see Thomas, so I got to make the assumption that they are split up. You do see him in the distance, probably trying to catch up with that Nitro ring. So hopefully Queasy plays this one just a little bit slow, steady, calculated even. Because otherwise, he is a solo separated from Thomas.
CZB Nathan, we saw how they can perform when the zones kind of favor them up north. However, this time around, I'm liking their loadout, but I'm curious to how much damage they've actually done.
As another team, you kind of look at where they finished on day number 1, 11th place, 172. We kept talking about, you know, the change of the cactus, the north zones, and how it correlates to their placement. If they can start to play well and play more like they have during the qualifiers, during more of those open lobbies, I can see them definitely catching up. Instead of being in 11th place, I can see them getting inside of that top 10, and the next thing you know, they're on the international stage playing for millions of dollars.
That's what I hope, Jacob. I'd like to see them there, just like a lot of other duos in this lobby today. Merstash Malabuka, 9th place going into day 1. Well, finishing off day 1, going into day 2. Hasn't quite went their way today. They've been dropped down to 14th, but all it takes is one decent match.
Just trying to see everybody's up here. So I think there might be a third team. Yep, Malabuka Merstash. Rift Island turned into Superstar Island here for a moment. You got pings and walks even on the outside. Right now it does look like a contested flag. That's going to be after the fact. Actually, you do see the loot there. Vidil's going to get that hand cannon. We know how dangerous that hand cannon is in the hands like someone like Vidil. We've seen it happen almost all day yesterday. All you need is that opportunity.
Can you make use of those opportunities, though, and capitalize on them? To make the most of them is the big question. Chap and T3eny currently at 301 points. I believe they maintained their top 5 position from yesterday going into today now after this most recent match. So they haven't went up or down, but that's not a bad thing in day 2. Because the issue is, although you can make huge comebacks, you can also get dropped down significantly if you have a poor performance. Skavi now. We saw what happened earlier on with Vidil and Reason. Looks like they've traded an elimination, and now they might be trading the res.
which sounds easy, but when that third team comes in, Cantry, Kai falls, it's going to make it a little bit harder, especially for Ju and Asa. They're the ones getting a lot of this focus, especially since the revive just came out. Kvi and Chino just taking their time, healing up first, and then I see them becoming from in the fight to now becoming that third party. This Cry falls, the brutal beachhead loot. He can crash into any of these boxes at a moment's notice, but he probably heard the footsteps of that third team being there and said, hey, it might be a little bit too dangerous. We already have one elimination. We have some surge because we rotated in. It might be too early to risk our game here.
I think this is the second time Kvi and Chino kind of got surprise attacked at one of their surge bases. Not quite the best of luck, but I mean, it could be seen as the other way as well, because now they're 244 above the Storm Surge threshold. They've given up a bit of materials and potentially shield and heals to be there, but it's better than going down to Surge later on. T-Chips and Desi also 326 above, looking quite healthy, but they are going to be playing a bit more edge zone here, as with the amount of duels already based up, it's going to be difficult to get more centered.
Yeah. You know, I thought I saw something like this go down in the feed. T-Chips, Desi, they get QNDX off guard. Phantom's doing a good job of fighting back. Takes down the shields of T-Chips, which allows him to get a little bit of that freedom. And I did see him go back of zone. I thought it was going to be a little bit dangerous with Stacey and Podesai being there, but Phantom realizing, hey, this zone is going to begin to hurt. I don't have HP. I can't continue to stagger myself this far back, so I have no choice but to move forward.
Oh, he's not done. He's confidently putting himself into a 1 versus 2 here. He's kind of out of options, so he knows if he can land his shots, this could be more than enough. All the way from Middle East to EU, looking to represent as he goes for the nitro shot, but his dream is quickly crushed.
I give him A for effort. I give him an A for effort, even an A+, because at least he tried it. He's not one of those players that just went down without a fight. He realized, I got no heals. I can't go back to zone. A third party's even tagging me in the distance, and if this team wants to push me, they can because I'm out of bubble shields. So might as well take the fight to them. I was just talking about the surprise attack sometimes works.
I don't know why that was so funny to me. He just ran in and instantly got pumped, put to sleep, but hey, starting off game 1 with the Victory Royale, you know it's fine. They're not going to be too let down from that. All they got to do is kind of figure out the early game going into the next match because of what happened there with the triple con fourth party. We'll have to see if it continues, but for now, we're going to focus on the moment. Thomas HD, Queasy, 76 points. They need to make something happen.
Yeah, they definitely 44th place. This is somewhere on the leaderboard I would have never expected to see these two teams, and now seeing them 683 above the damage threshold, I just hope they get off these bottom layers, because this is where I usually see them kind of getting lobby sprayed, another team trying to break into their box. They're just a little bit too low to the ground, which makes them easily accessible from any of these teams that might be low on surge.
Feeling reason, something might have went wrong here. 2 HP onto Vidil. No medkits, no bandages to help with that. Does have a significant amount of shields, but is it even going to be enough to outlive the damage from these players? One tick of storm, Jacob. That's all it's going to take. But Pablo going to go down. Bevies was already eliminated. Pixie now making it into zone. CZB and Nathan, one of the duos capitalizing on these players rotating in late.
So you even got another team just like focusing down on them as soon as they rotate into that spot. And that's why I say elevating yourself is kind of the name of the game this season because of those nitro splashes. It's easy for a team to break in your box. Then obviously the Thunderburst, the consistent spray, especially if it's coming from a full duo. Some of those shots will sneak in. As Vidil and Reason, they're just looking for any way to gain HP or to rotate in a zone without really being noticed. They could go towards the left side. That's where a less and less amount of players are at, but they're going to have to go through the water to do that.
Vanya Swizy playing it calm, collected, controlled here. Just taking shots of the duos rotating in. They're already inside the edge of the zone, so no repositioning going to be made yet.
Just looking to the backside of zone. They rotated very, very early to be able to do this, stagger themselves back, even if the zone does pull, but they already found their safe spot. So every team that needs to rotate in from that south side is an easy target for Swizzy and Vanya, and they know that team rotated in. They might not know it's Axe Force and Clown, but they do know somebody is positioned there, and you see them reinforce that ground, making sure no easy pushes are going to be possible at a moment's notice.
See Reason using that dash on through. This is kind of the pros and cons of having a late game by the Underworld. You have that water of sticks, that green water down below, that if the players dip their toes in it, they get 3 of those dashes that can be replenished just by stepping in the water once again. Giannis making use of one of those dashes, propelling himself towards the loot. As he's still 54 below, though, he's going to have to find some damage.
Yeah, you can see how active the lobby actually is right now. Players getting taken down, others moving up the threshold. Giannis was able to find some build, but it's very, very little. Maybe a little bit more than Siphon Mats overall, and they're quickly gone. They're out. And he has another rotation to make, so we know for them this one's not going to be easy. And you see how stacked the lobby is around that line from top to bottom. Some teams on high ground, others on the ultimate low, and then others are just making and wasting no time getting to the front side of the zone.
So after this 8th zone, it will be first moving. So this is where these players have to decide kind of what their ultimate game plan is going to be. We know players like Swizzy Vanya, they have enough materials to do so. They like elevating themselves. Others just like staying ahead. Jinyo and Skavi, though, although they've had a bit of mid-game action, it looks like they've done a great job to put themselves back into it.
Just beamed Nathan out of the sky. Dashes or no dashes, crash pad or not. That 2 ARs just beamed him. We're able to get the elimination. Trying to keep themselves moving in this game. 49 HP for Swizzy. That's not a confident fielding for him. But on the ultimate low ground, he's hoping with the different elevations here in this next zone, not too many teams will find themselves in the mud just like him.
Hopefully he has enough strength to get his feet out of the mud as the rotation begins here. Nice crack gonna come through, but you gotta be careful. Opposing end also gonna land their shots. 22 HP for Giannis. As now Pixie has gone down while he was looking for that loot. No time to pick up your duo, but at least you can secure the mats.
Yeah, he timed that one perfectly. So when Pixie went down, he not only gets his resources, but he gets that little bit extra from the Siphon Mats, but instantly gets beamed out of the sky as soon as he makes that rotation over. That was Reason who got that. I believe Vidil was lost long ago, so he's going to be left as a solo.
Emil Goodenbry are going to be the duo that has the most elevated position, with zone pulling quite in their favor. They're so high up that they might even be able to maintain this, considering the potential crash pad flowberries that are going to come through on this rotate. I think they still should be pretty good.
Yeah, even if a team does go up for that high ground, I think the plan should be to stagger a little bit, steal the high ground away because of that crash pad, especially since they won't hear you coming. The zone is opening up, forcing this rotation out of everybody here. Some above Surge, others might not be so much as Hootie takes down Chari, separates them as Gears goes down to Clownsky. That duo's full out of this game. At least they were able to get some placement points. 19 teams still alive, so there's still more to come as well.
So Zivanya, great job elevating themselves, giving themselves more eyes on the players rotating in. Now, issue is they need to take shots on the duos rotating up, but they've been kind of blocked off here. Now with a little bit of vision, it's going to be a 41 tag, bumped up to 123 above the threshold, but they need more damage.
Yeah, just like this, they're not getting too greedy. They're taking shots, they're taking opportunities as they come. They're not forcing anything here as they quickly once again rotate to the front side of the zone. They don't go to that ultimate low ground. They don't know how much of a roller coaster there is because you see it going, dipping down that mountain, back up on the other side. If you're not ready for something like this, it is going to become a nightmare.
On the bottom right, we also have Vico Flixie, trying to see if they can get closer and closer to that second height position they'd like to play for the potential retake. Looking to maintain their spot on the throne. They didn't have the best game one to start off the day, but they're looking healthy for game two.
Yeah, this is how you bring it back. They built themselves a little bit of a cushion versus the majority of the playing field, so one bad game isn't necessarily too much to cause any concern just yet. As Guden, Forzen, they're just trying to maintain their position. They find an elimination onto Sky as well. Hopefully they were able to backtrack and pick up those mats because there's only so long you're going to be able to elevate your position just like this, especially with Chap, T3eny in the lobby. They're ready to contest, and they're ready to go all out for it.
The Flowberry, the Nitro, everything's activated for this retake, and it looks like they might have just done it. They need to maintain it now, though. That's going to be a massive knock. Continue to apply that pressure on the duos looking back up. Going to even drop down a couple layers here. Issue is, eventually they might have to find a refresh.
Yeah, it's going over a little bit more flatland, making it easier for some of those players down below, but not if the pressure continues. Squeezy by himself, still figuring out a way to make it work. It's these comebacks today with the 1.5 that makes anything possible for anyone. As Swizzy's just jumping around, 15 HP, flank coming in, he's gonna get dropped. Vanya's now stuck by himself, and he gets the nice elimination on Mustache. The elimination is in, the medallion is picked up, and this is giving Vanya a second chance at life.
It's giving him a bit more shield per second. He's going to get up to 50, but he has the big pot. He has the flow barrier to continue on forwards. Issue is, so many players are down in the dirt that all it's going to take is one slip up. But Vanya now gets knocked out, gets eliminated, and we continue with T3eny and Chap on height.
He just did not have the time to get to the rest of the HP into tip-top shape. T3eny, Chap, they're above. Nobody even has a chance to look up. They're just getting pressured and caught off guard by every player that's down below. Pings and walks, they're able to make it far into this game this time around. 3 eliminations. They're able to get the siphon mats and claim so much space down below.
They have space on low. The issue is medkits being popped, and all these players that are running out of materials are going to be dropping down like flies, so they're going to have to continue with their aggression if they want to maintain this position.
Yeah, doing well right now, but now it's going to come down to fighting because they run out of builds. Nice shot on Axe Force. Clownski's there, but so is the high ground. T3eny trying to take advantage of all this commotion. He's able to get the elimination credit for that, but Pings is still alive. He's trying to go under the radar, but he gets spotted out yet again. T3eny looking like he's on a rampage here in the end game. The final 2v1. It's easy as the first. 6 eliminations and a big win for Chap and T3eny.
Great way to finish off the second match of the day. They held on to height for as long as they needed to, and once they wanted to start playing aggressive, they executed it perfectly, securing those last eliminations to pick up the win. After both game 1, after both day 1 finished, they were 5th place, maintaining that spot. But now with this victory royale, I would not be surprised if it's bumped them up to top 3, even top 2 on the leaderboard.
Yeah, these are those big point games that we're talking about. 136 points for Chap and T3eny, and as soon as they got the high ground, they did not look back. They pressured everyone from above, didn't allow them to look up until they finally dropped down and sealed that deal.
I love how they executed the high ground retake during the right moment as well. We had so many duos continuing to try and get height, but they waited for the opportunity to strike, and it played out perfectly. Now all they got to do is maintain that consistency to see if they can take home the first place spot. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we're back, there'll be a lot more action to see, so don't go anywhere.